As we transition from summer to the colder months of fall and winter, it's really important to also modify our skincare routine. I mean, we don't wear the same clothes all year round, right? Our skincare routine and the products we use should also be adjusted to best fit our skin's needs throughout the season. So today, I want to share with you 10 tips on how you can best transition your skincare from summer to fall to really support your skin needs and maximize your skincare goals. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Jenny Liu. I'm a board certified dermatologist. And if you haven't, I would love it if you can hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. So first of all, why do we even need to consider changing our skincare routine, habits, or products when we transition from summer to fall? Well, we do know that we actually produce more sebum in the summertime because of the heat and sweat. And with that, as the temperature drops, we have less sebum, so less protective oil, but also as the temperature cools, it's less humid, and so our skin tends to dry out more. As a dermatologist, dry skin and eczema flares are the two most common concerns I see in the winter time. Even sensitive and rosacea-prone skin individuals may experience a flare as well. We do know that colder temperature, along with like the chilly wind and breezes, can often increase the redness and that burning sensation we often see in rosacea-prone skin. Dandruff and psoriasis are two other conditions that we tend to see flare as well. So the most important thing is to modify your routine, consider changing products, but more importantly, incorporating moisturizers that are going to be more hydrating, more nourishing, and really at the heart of the skincare modification is really reducing skin dryness and reducing that transepidermal water loss that we mentioned, really keeping your skin moisture barrier hydrated and as healthy as it can be. So with that, tip number one is gentle cleansing. So good skincare starts with cleansing, but you can also overdo it with too much cleansing and or using the wrong cleanser. This is where number one, you may want to consider changing the formula of your cleanser. So in the summertime, because we create more sebum, a foaming cleanser that sets really nicely and really cleans may be something that is ideal for summer, but for the winter, it may be too aggressive. Going with a more creamy cleanser would be ideal. Or say if you use more of an exfoliating cleanser in the summertime, like one with AHA or BHA, then you may want to switch to just a generic cleanser that doesn't have a lot of active ingredients. Furthermore, if you have really sensitive, dry, and eczema-prone or rosacea-prone skin, you may even want to cut back on the frequency of cleansing. Certainly you don't have to cleanse twice a day. The most important cleanse is really before you sleep. So at bedtime for most of us to thoroughly remove everything so that way the products that we put on does have a chance to work. And two, because our skin repair itself majority of the time throughout the night, it's just really important to keep the skin clean and reduce that inflammatory component that could be contributed from leftover sunscreen, makeup, and not to mention, acne, right? So morning cleanse is more just if you use a lot of occlusive products like petrolatum, your face may feel greasy, so your skincare products is not going to layer as nicely. But if you don't use a lot of occlusive products and you have really sensitive skin, you certainly don't need a cleanser. Just a splash of cold water to soften and dampen your skin, and then going on with the rest of your routine is totally okay. I do use quite a bit of fairly thick and nourishing, sometimes even petrolatum products on my face at night. So I am one that do need to use a gentle cleanser in the morning just to remove all the skincare products from the night before. If you are looking for great creamy cleansers, there's so many on the market, and I probably have talked to death about ones I recommend like Cetaphil, CeraVe, La Roche-Posay. They all have great creamy cleansers. But if you're looking for something that are not those, I have two that I really have enjoyed using. The first one is from Glow Recipe, and it's the Avocado Ceramide Moisture Barrier Cleanser. This is really nice, first of all, yummy smelling. That is even a term I can use, but really nice scent that is a creamy cleanser that contains avocado extract, ceramides, and colloidal oats. All wonderful, soothing, nourishing ingredients. I really love the texture of this cleanser. It is kind of runny, but I want to show you guys. It's very creamy and it makes your skin feel very hydrated. Now, if you're an individual who do not like having the sensation of like a little bit of a hydrating residue that often cream cleansers can impart on skin. It's not like, it's almost a sensation where you can't wash off your cleansers thoroughly. I would say this does give you some of that sensation, but I think it's not that you're leaving residue and it's not washing off. It's more just the hydrating nature of this cleanser. So I love it because it's very gentle, and for those with dry skin, it is very hydrating. But if you have more oily skin or just hate that sensation of having a residue, like residual feeling of a cleanser left on your skin, then this one may not be as ideal for you. Another great creamy cleanser that I really have been enjoying that is similar, it kind of reminds me of a little bit of the CeraVe cream cleanser, but with different ingredients. And it's really elegant. It's from Murad, and it's their Soothing Oat and Peptide Cleanser. Certainly, this is one that is great for sensitive and eczema-prone skin. It's fragrance-free, sulfate-free. It contains this unique peptide micellar water technology along with oats and shea butter. It's creamy, naturally foamy, but I would say compared to the Glow Recipe one, it doesn't leave as much of that hydrating residue, if you will. But it's still really good and effective, but does not make your skin feel stripped or super tight afterwards. So again, another great option if you're looking for a more elegant, slightly pricier creamy cleanser if you are in the market of shopping for a creamy cleanser. One last product, if you're like me who uses a benzoyl peroxide cleanser daily, I actually use it at night after, it's like the second step of my double cleansing routine after my cleansing balm or cleansing oil, then you may want to certainly switch to a more gentle, creamier version of benzoyl peroxide. I love benzoyl peroxide for fighting acne of all sorts, including face and body, but one of the most common side effects is dryness. So this is where I definitely recommend non-foamy creamier cleansers, especially if you are using like a topical retinoid like adapalene or tretinoin afterwards. So the most gentle benzoyl peroxide cleanser, I would call it more like treatment, not so much cleanser, because it's so creamy. I actually don't think it does a good job of like cleansing in the sense it removes makeup and stuff, and I don't recommend benzoyl peroxide cleansers to do that, but some ones that are foaming can certainly help remove like sunscreen. Anywho, if you're looking for a BPO cleanser that's creamy, gentle, but effective, then you need to check out this one from Cetaphil. I mentioned it before. It's their Gentle Clear Complexion Clearing BPO Acne Cleanser. It contains 2.6% micronized benzoyl peroxide that makes it less irritating. Also contains zinc and licorice root that are soothing. But the formula, I've talked about CeraVe's creamy cleanser. I've talked about Inculus also has a benzoyl peroxide cleanser that's very creamy, but I would say compared to all the creamy, gentle benzoyl peroxide cleansers I have personally tried, this is the most creamy, hydrating, and gentle. It's, like I said, it's so creamy and gentle that it's not a good cleanser, I'll put it that way, which is why for me, I need to really make sure when I'm using a benzoyl peroxide cleanser of any type that I really do a good job beforehand to effectively remove my makeup, sunscreen, and everything else, because the benzoyl peroxide cleanser, regardless of the formula and whether it foams or not, for me is more of a treatment. So number 2 is exfoliate, but the gentle way. So here, I recommend either cutting back on the frequency and or changing out your exfoliating ingredient to something that's more gentle, or do both depending on our skin type, especially if you have dry, insensitive, and rosacea prone skin. So for example, if you used to exfoliate 3 times a week, maybe cut back to twice a week or once a week. And on top of that, if you have extra sensitive skin, I recommend changing to a more gentle exfoliant like lactic acid or polyhydroxy acid. I do recommend, as long as your skin tolerates, incorporating an exfoliant onto your routine, regularly. I think it can really help in keeping up with the skin radiance and reducing the dullness that may tend to build up during the winter, especially with dryness and, that dead skin, especially with the dryness that for majority of us tend to experience during the winter time. It's just about, finding the frequency that works best for you and then picking the right ingredient. So like I mentioned, cutting back on frequency is the easiest way, but if you are looking for a more gentle exfoliant, lactic acid and polyhydroxy acid are the 2 that I really recommend. Particular products, I've shared those in the past. If you're looking for a good polyhydroxy acid product, 2 I recommend. The first one is from Medic 8, and it's their Press and Glow PHA toner that's super gentle. You actually apply it like a toner pad. It contains 5.5% gluconolactone, which is one of the polyhydroxy acids. It's really gentle, and for someone with more eczema, rosacea, and dry skin, I think this is really nice to incorporate into your routine a few times a week. It's even more considered, polyhydroxy acids more of a humectant, but over time, it can certainly slowly improve that skin texture, skin radiance. So this is something I really love if you have sensitive skin. And something less expensive would be the Inky List. They also have a polyhydroxy acid toner that contains 3% polyhydroxy acid along with 3% niacinamide. So another great one that's more affordable. If you're looking for more like leave-on treatments, one I've talked about before is the Bionic Cream or Lotion from Neostrata that contains a blend of polyhydroxy acid that's very nourishing, and depending on the formulation, the Bionic Cream can be super rich and it's a great moisturizer. So that is another way that you can incorporate your exfoliants is into your moisturizer. And for the most part, that Bionic Cream is so nourishing. It's actually more hydrating than truly like an exfoliant. But over time with use, like I said, will improve your skin radiance and dullness. Number 3 is really up the game with your moisturizer. So here, I just recommend changing up the formulation. I don't think you need to shop around for particular ingredients unless it's something that really interests you. But this is where if you are in the habit of wearing like gels and lotions in the summertime, consider going to like a cream at night or even like a gel cream for the morning. So great formulas for those with oily skin. And if you're one that already is using a cream because you have dry skin, then consider going with an extra nourishing formula, or even sometimes during that slugging trend as needed to really help repair your skin barrier. It just all depends on like your skin's needs and also where you live. Like for me in Minneapolis, where it's super dry and cold during the winter, I will definitely slug a few times a week, and I definitely incorporate much thicker, heavier, denser, more nourishing creams, especially at night. And this is a tip I recommend for everyone, regardless of your skin type. At night, because our skin does most of its repair at night, I think it's really important to really apply a more nourishing, thicker moisturizer to really reduce the transepidermal water loss. Studies have shown that our skin does tend to get dry at night because of the repair. The skin is going through turnover, and that just makes it more susceptible to transepidermal water loss. So even if you have oily skin, I think this is one instance because most of us are sleeping. Apply a thicker cream. This is going to help your skin recover and repair itself more effectively. So these are moisturizers that I think can make great ones for morning, night, or both. Just depends on your skin type. So the first one is from Neutrogena, their Hydro Boost line. I mean, they have so many different formulas, and here the easy trick is if you use gel, then go ahead and change it to a gel cream. Even though it's a gel cream, it's a little bit more nourishing, but still really fast absorbing. Great for those with more oily and combination skin that live in a colder climate. If you need something just a little bit more to keep your skin from being dehydrated. Similarly, the Moisture Soak one from Verse is another great moisturizer I love using all year round. In fact, in the summertime, I'll use it as my nighttime moisturizer, and in the winter I will actually change it to use it in the morning. I find that it keeps my skin better hydrated in the morning, but it's still very lightweight and fast absorbing and has really wonderful ingredients. So that moisturizer I also recommend for all skin type. Again, just as a matter of like when you use it and the season that you use it. Another one that I really have been loving lately that's very hydrating, moisturizing, but not heavy is from Isntree, and it's their hyaluronic acid moist cream. It is a cream that absorbs really quickly, has various different blends of hyaluronic acid and plant-derived oils. It's nourishing but not heavy, and so I love it right now as my nighttime moisturizer, but I envision that in the like middle of the winter when it's like just dead cold, when it's like negative 40 degrees out, this probably make a really nice one for it to use in the morning. Lastly, just want to share another moisturizer that I recently have been loving, and it's from Sun By Me, their Beta Panthenol Repair Cream. This is a lightweight, I would say it kind of hinders around like a gel cream slash light cream, but it's very hydrating, got wonderful ingredients, and I really feel with this texture is more ideal for those with oily and combination skin. I think for those with more dry skin, you're gonna find this to be not nourishing enough. At least personally, I don't use it as much. I don't think I will be using it as much in the middle of the winter when it's really dry and cold out. But certainly for the morning, I think this would be a good one to keep my skin moisture barrier hydrated. Tip number 4 is reconsider the formulation of your serum. So here, a couple things. Number 1, if you're using a vitamin C serum that is in the form of of L-ascorbic acid, you may want to consider changing to a more lipid-soluble vitamin C, so that THD ascorbate. Often they're formulated in more of like a creamy serum, sometimes even oils, that is going to be more nourishing and less irritating. So that is one option. And so this is where, again, there's so many different vitamin C serums I've talked about a ton in my previous video. Definitely check those out. I mean, if you guys want me to make another video on just THD ascorbate or lipid-soluble vitamin C, definitely let me know in the comments below. But like one from Mana Cream, I've talked about this before. Affordable, very simple with THD ascorbate and ceramides. Lightweight, milky serum. Hydrating, but not heavy. Love it. Great one to check out. Another one that's really worth the splurge, but expensive, is from Skin Better, the Auto Defense and Repair Serum that contains a blend of antioxidants and THD ascorbate, and it's very creamy, very nourishing, very hydrating. Great for those with sensitive and rosacea prone skin. Now, if you like the traditional pure L-ascorbic acid ingredient, but want a serum that is not watery, maybe more nourishing, you can try CeraVe's vitamin C that contains 10% L-ascorbic acid, but it's very creamy with ceramides. It's very gentle. So even though it's L-ascorbic acid, I still do recommend it to my sensitive skin individuals, especially with one that is in drugstores and relatively affordable. Another one that I have tried that I actually really enjoy, that I find to be hydrating, is from Kiehl's, and it's their Powerful Strength Line Reducing Concentrate. It has 10% L-ascorbic acid, so pure vitamin C, and then 2.5% vitamin C derivative that offers additional brightening benefits along with hyaluronic acid. And also it's a very creamy serum. I actually find it slightly harder to spread. Like for most of my vitamin C serums, I do 2 pumps and I find it to spread fairly easily on my face and neck. This one, I think with the formula, it's a little bit more dense. So I feel like I need like 3 pumps of this product. Otherwise, it is definitely creamy and more nourishing. So just another option if you are looking for a more creamier version with a pure vitamin C ingredient. The next tip is rethink your retinoid. So I am one who actually will transition from my prescription tretinoin to a retinaldehyde product for anti-aging during the winter time, because where I live is just so dry and cold that I'm only able to tolerate a prescription retinoid like less than twice a week. Otherwise, I will really get patches of eczema on my face and neck. And certainly because I'm prone to eczema and I have more combination dry skin, and my skin has definitely become more dry with age, this is one instance where I will change my retinoid formulation for just the winter and then kind of go back to my prescription tretinoin as much as I'm able to once the weather warms up. And I definitely use it more consistently and regularly during the summertime. So if you are an individual like me who still want to use a retinoid for the anti-aging benefit, which is really one of the main reasons I use topical retinoid, then consider going down to a lower, less potent, less irritating formula just for the time being. And by the way, by doing that, you're not really missing out on much. You know, as long as you're using a retinoid consistently and regularly, that is what matters most. So here, there's so many wonderful retinoids I've talked about. Can go with like Olay, their retinol 24, Neutrogena's retinol. Either the serum or the cream are very gentle. The cream is a really great one. If you have extra dry and sensitive skin, it's very nourishing, and you can kind of put a moisturizer on top of that if you need. But this is where just pick a retinol or retinaldehyde product that you like. Affordable ones includes like CeraVe. Their retinols are super gentle. I also love Rock. And if you're looking for good retinaldehyde formulations, I really enjoy the one from Avent, their retinol line. It comes in a 0.05 and a 0.1 formulation. This is very creamy and very nourishing. Avent is a brand. I'm gonna just show you guys the texture here. It's very creamy. So great for those with eczema and dry sensitive skin. But anywho, Avent is a brand that formulates products with like sensitive, eczema prone, dry skin in mind. So this is one that I think they have wonderful product, but certainly if you're looking for an effective, potent retinoid that works without the irritation, highly recommend checking out their retinol line. Next, don't forget your lips and eyelids. These are areas are sensitive and tend to dry out more with the colder months, but also as we age. I always finish my evening routine with a coat of petrolatum or aquifer on my lips because my lips do dry overnight, and especially if you're like a mouth breather, it's gonna increase more dryness around the lips. And two, with age, our eyelid skin definitely becomes more dry, and that is why we see more fine lines and wrinkles develop. Not that you have to use an eye cream, so there are a couple ways you can combat that. Is number one, go with a nourishing moisturizer that you apply all over your face, and always make sure you extend it to your eyelid area. But two, you could consider using an eye cream in the evening routine, which is what I typically do. Ingredients like peptides, ceramides, more creamier formula that can better nourish the eyelid skin. Peptides are great at finding wrinkles and fine lines. Retinols are great too. I think it just depends on the formula and if you have really sensitive skin. Certainly retinol can be something that you may want to hold off in the winter time around the eyelids. Now, I have seen people put Vaseline around their eyelids. I think that is fine as long as you're not prone to getting milia, because that's one of the risks. If you want something that's really nourishing, that is not as occlusive, one I actually really like is from La Roche-Posay. The Cicaplast B5 balm has great ingredients. It's actually pretty lightweight and isn't super occlusive. So that's really something you can use around the eyelids if you're afraid that petrolatum may cause milia. But here, like I said, a good nourishing eye cream that is a cream formula, not like a gel, or just using a nourishing moisturizer and make sure you extend it around your eyelid are two ways that you can really keep your eyelid skin healthy. Tip number 7 is don't forget your hands and feet. I mean, with extensive hand washing, I definitely get a bunch of dry skin, almost kind of like the dead skin buildup and callus on my hands. So this is one instance where, number one, try to see if you can just have moisturizers, different sizes that slide throughout the house, like next to your sink, so that way you're in the habit of applying a moisturizer every time you wash your hands. 2, consider going to bed with a coat of petrolatum on your hands and feet. Urea-based moisturizers are also really good at helping with hydrating and keeping your skin on the hands and feet soft and hydrated. Another trick is what I call soak and smear. And so this is for people that are really struggling with callous hands, feet, cracks and fissures in their fingertips or heels. So this is where you would want to soak your hands and feet in lukewarm water for 5 to 10 minutes until they're damp, and then just apply a really creamy moisturizer or even petrolatum, and then cover it with a pair of cotton socks and a pair of cotton gloves. And ideally, if you can go to bed with that, next day when you remove your glove and socks, your hands and feet are going to feel extra soft, super baby soft. And over time, if you just do this nightly for a week or two, it really can turn around really bad callous feet, cracks and fissures. So that is one trick that I really recommend, and sometimes I will even do this myself for my hands and feet. Otherwise, on a regular basis, I always put on a urea-based hand moisturizer before I sleep. I try to apply moisturizer each time after I wash my hands, and then at night, because I shower at night, I will make sure to put a coat of petrolatum or urea-based moisturizer to my feet and cover with socks. And majority of the nights I will actually go to bed with my socks on, just to keep my heels from cracking and from thickening, because like I said, it's just so cold here in Minneapolis. Tip number 8 is mind the temperature of your shower or bath. So in the winter, I'm guilty of this too, but it feels so good to jump in a hot shower, right? But hot water is super drying on skin. So again, dialing back the temperature, keeping it comfortably warm, and also making sure that when you are bathing, limit the water exposure to less than 10 to 15 minutes. And then also soaping. Really, I think gentle cleansers can be a great way to cleanse. And because most of us don't sweat as much and don't get dirty as much in the winter anyway, you really don't need soap. Buttocks, maybe armpits, gentle soaps like the ones from Dove Sensitive Bar Soap, Avena Cream, CeraVe, or here, use your gentle cleansers, right? Avena Cream makes a really nice body cleanser too. You can even use ones that are made for face and use it in the shower. One where I really like for the whole family is from La Roche-Posay. Their Lipicar Wash, which is really gentle, can be used on face and body as well as kids. So this is where you just have to limit that water temperature, limit the amount of cleansers you use on your body, and then as soon as you get out of the shower, pat your skin dry, don't rub, and when your skin is still damp, like that first 30 seconds, layer a moisturizer all over your body. Tip number 9 is you still need to wear sunscreen all year round. Even though there is less UV that comes through, on a sunny day when there's a lot of snow, it has been shown that snow actually greatly reflects UV radiation, and people do get sunburn when they're skiing. We all see that commercial with people like having burnt face face, but just the eyes that are protected because you're wearing goggles while skiing, right? So this is where, especially if you have hyperpigmentation, fighting melasma, you really need to wear sunscreen all year round. You certainly don't need to be as aggressive with reapplication. And for most of us, a good base layer, maybe that's all we need, especially if we're inside. Again, depending on your skin, you may want to reconsider the formulation. So going with maybe less mattifying formula to something that's a little bit more creamy and hydrating may be better for those with even oily and combination skin, because the mattifying formula could make your skin feel tight and become more dehydrated. It just all depends. But my point is, you still need to wear sunscreen all year round. Go with SPF 30 or higher. Make sure it's broad spectrum. And depending on what you do, you probably don't need to be as aggressive with reapplication. The last tip is actually consider professional treatments. So there are certain medical and cosmetic rejuvenating procedures that just may be better during the fall and winter. Reasons being, number one, a lot of these procedures will make one look red, crusty, and sun sensitive. In the summertime, there's weddings, there's a lot of events. Many of us don't like to hide out at home with a red, crusty face for a few weeks. So, and two, because these procedures make one more sun sensitive and may increase the risk of hyperpigmentation, it's just better to do in the fall and winter. So common procedures that I perform in office, I tend to recommend in the fall and winter includes like photodynamic therapy, which is what we call the blue light special, that is really on label to treat sun damage and skin cancer, but also can be used off label to treat acne and other skin conditions. But it does make one more sun sensitive. So literally the patient would have to be pretty good about not going out in the sun for the first couple of weeks. It does make one look red and crusty. So that is what I actually recommend my patients to do for the winter, for the fall and winter. Similarly, certain chemical peels, like deeper peels, as well as, rejuvenating laser treatments that can give you more downtime are great options to consider during the fall and winter. So this is where, as far as like what type of treatments, it really depends on, your skin concern, what you're trying to address, as well as your skin type and skin tone. So find a dermatologist and provider that is experienced and you can really understand, what your needs are and to really help you better achieve your goals. All right, guys, so those are my 10 tips to help you better transition your skin from summer to fall and winter. I hope you found it helpful. Again, comment below with any questions that you may have. And also, if you guys want me to make dedicated videos for lipid solute vitamin C serum as well as eye creams, let me know in comments below and I'd be happy to do so as well. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time.